afternoon hours that we have to be concerned about as we look at our timecast. Going through midday today, things again should stay relatively quiet. We may even break out into a little more sun, but then as we head into the early afternoon, we'll begin to see those isolated storms that get going, and we'll have to watch the isolated storms that develop out ahead of the main line that won't get organized until a little bit later in the afternoon. So these isolated storms could be supercells, they could be severe, so we'll have to watch those as they get going around 2 o'clock or so in the afternoon. So those will be isolated to scattered in nature, but they will be moving northeast into the metroplex around 3, 4 o'clock, with that severe potential really starting to increase a little bit later in the afternoon. And then here comes the main line out toward west that gets a little more organized around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and begins to work its way into the metroplex as we head toward 5, 6 in the evening. So during the height of the afternoon commute, we'll have those strong and severe thunderstorms, that line of storms rolling right through the metroplex, and that will be around 7, 8 o'clock. That will continue moving through the area. So that's when the severe risk will be more widespread and at its highest, I think, especially getting into our eastern counties where we do have that greatest risk for those severe storms. It could be tornadic in that moderate risk area that we've talked about, level 4, but we are talking about some large hail, the damaging wind threat, and maybe some embedded tornadoes in that line of storms that moves through. So you see that large area of enhanced risk that does include all of the metroplex areas out toward west. So anywhere you go across North Texas today, we will have some sort of severe weather risk. Now, once that main line of storms moves through a little bit later this evening, behind that, we will have some strong winds, very gusty, up to 50 miles per hour. So these are going to be not associated with the thunderstorm, the line of storms that moves through, and they will stay gusty into the evening, late evening, and early overnight. So those will be rattling the windows just a little bit, I think, during the early morning hours for tomorrow. And we will have some wraparound showers to deal with, I think, as well as that low finally moves on out. And we will see some clearing skies as we head toward the morning hours for the morning commute tomorrow. Should be much nicer. It will be breezy, though, and much cooler as we get into tomorrow. So here's that 10-day forecast for you. We'll warm into the upper 70s today, but the severe weather threat, that's going to be the concern as we head into the afternoon, as we just talked about. Mid-40s for tomorrow morning, highs only in the low 60s tomorrow afternoon, but lots of sunny skies by later in the day. And then over the weekend, we warm back up, getting into the mid-upper 70s, low 80s heading into Monday before those rain and thunderstorm chances return as we get into the early and middle part of next week.